up in your address far up there. So all you would have to do, for example, is he's gonna copy that right now, and then he's gonna see what he's gonna do, and then he's just insert that there. He's gonna paste that in there, and now it's actually gonna be a code website. He's still the browser. It's that simple. Can you click on that here link right now, and you can show? See, so we just went to the website that we're playing on. Just create the link to this website. So my point is this: you don't have to know actually every absolute technicality of things, except we know that's a link code, and we just explained to you that what's between the parentheses is the actual address, and then you can just copy and paste in there whatever address you wish. And in the case of like a geochecker, it might be the address for a geochecker. Geochecker codes are super easy to create. I go to geochecker.com, and it'll ask you what's the name of your cache page, what's the GC code, what are the solved coordinates, what should the people put in to get the correct code, and then you hit, yep, that's it, okay, good, and then what happens? Something really cool and easy. Then it tells you, well, this is your HTML code, here it is, we entered your data, here's your HTML code, and then all you have to do is that HTML code, we can steal it right there and we can bring it to this page. And it's an address, it's a link, and we can use that code right there. So he's playing right now, he's going to create something for us. He's going to create a geochecker code right now, and then we're going to show you exactly what we mean. Because after creating a picture, this is one of the important things you want to do if you want to create a fun puzzle. I don't know how many of you think this as well as me, but I really think it's important to give people a geochecker, because if you don't have it, you hate to make people run out in the middle of nowhere and they find they got one number wrong, and you know what one number wrong can mean. It can mean the difference between miles. So, so you know what HTML code looks like. See those P's? You're like, huh, interesting. And there's what Ron and Tim talked about. There's that code in the middle that starts with an A and then ends with an A, but then you see all that craziness. Really what I want you to see here is take a look at this. See, we got the parentheses. Doesn't that look like a link we talked about again? It sure is. And you could copy and paste this into that other that information you stole from Gizmo Guy, and then we just created a link to a geochecker. It's not so bad, is it? Just the geochecker gave us the code, and there we have it. Now we can just copy it right from there. And yeah. And then Tim is going to click on that link we just made. This is what's really cool. See, this is why I want you to use this as a sandbox, because what shows on the right, again, it's what you see is what you get on the right side. And that's how Tim was able to click on that link we just made. It actually took us to it's a web browser window there. It showed us what you see is what you get. And now we just checked to make sure it worked, and sure enough it did. We actually went to where we wanted to go. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's not so hard. Think of using Gizmo Guy to copy and paste, and take a little look at what you're doing with the code. Hey, so really now the next and last thing we really want to focus on, we showed you how to do a link, which is really important, again, the geochecker, for example. Now we want to do a picture. Really, that's what people really want to do with their cache page. They like to put a pic on there. The photo buckets is really easy to make a membership. You can do it in a minute or two. It's free. You can use Facebook to sign in, whatever like that. Hey, remember when I said a few minutes ago that geocaching.com doesn't allow you to save files to their site or whatever? You got to save the picture somewhere else and link to it. That's what we're going to do with Photo Bucket here. We're going to store the picture there, and then we're going to get a link, and then we're going to link it back to our page. I'm just going to use mine. I use it. I know Ranger Boy uses Photo Bucket. I see a lot of his stuff stored there, not necessarily to website that he has.
Is everybody familiar with Photo Bucket? Heard of it? Basically, you just store your pictures there. That's all you do. Nice part is you can link to it, like you said. So here, Ron's actually click albums to bring them up, and it should bring up any albums that he has. Wow, you have a lot of pictures.
Yeah, these are all
18 pages. Okay.
I could organize them into albums, but I'm lazy, so every time I link, I just add a new one to it. It doesn't really matter to me, because once I store the picture there, I don't care how it's organized. I never want to see it again. So I store the picture there, and then I see what the link code is, the HTML code to use on my cache page. And then basically what happens is, again, we have to link this in a storage place, and this is where all my pictures are stored. So why don't we do this? So how do you get a picture here then? We have to store it here. The first step was acquiring a picture. We can either get it from our own computer, it's our picture, or we steal it off the web, whatever. But so we got to get it from somewhere, and we got to bring it to Photo Bucket. And so let's do that. Maybe, why don't you go to it? We'll go to Google Images again. So we're on Google, and then up on the upper left of the screen, you see the images we selected. You can also select maps, which a lot of geocachers use, like myself, because I can put coordinates in there. I copy and paste coordinates off the cache page, and then I can see where they're at by satellite. Okay, so these are pictures we could potentially steal. Now, I'm going to be very repetitive. I told you a while back when we create cache pages, we don't want the image any bigger than 550 pixels wide, because otherwise we're going to get fat cache page syndrome. We're going to have a really wide cache page. So if you want to make it easy and you don't want to have to resize your pictures, why don't we just choose something that's less than 500 like this? And you're going to have tons of images to choose from anyway when you search for whatever. And so like this one's 250 by 245. The 250 is key, that's the width. The first number is the width. Anytime you select a picture like this, it tells you the size. You can go to a different picture, Tim, and show them. That picture is 450 by 386. 450 wide, that's still plenty near enough. Now this one's still plenty near enough, 500 wide. That would fit on a cache page without stretching it. That one was 300. That one's scary large. 2400 is going to give you super obese fat cache page. So we don't, why, you guys, it's too complicated to resize pictures. Choose a picture that's less than 550 and go with that. And so, okay, so save image as, we right click, save image as. And I like to just save it to my desktop. And then I'll probably rename it right there. Maybe I will call it satellite or whatever. It doesn't matter.
You're not concerned about copyright?
I'm not an ethical person, so no, I'm not concerned about copyright. I try not to, really seriously though, I don't steal pictures from Flickr.com, because and some of the big sites like Getty Images or Flickr.com, that's a little more legally dangerous, because sometimes they check and see where their images are being used. If it's just off somebody's blog or something like that, yeah, I'll use it. And is it correct? No, it's not necessarily, honestly speaking. But, so that is a great question. That's a really good question you asked. Anyway, we save that picture to the desktop. Okay, so we go back to photobucket.com. There's the upload button. This is going to be really easy. So it says upload, and we said upload, it says select your photo or video. So there's the satellite image. We're on my desktop right here on the computer. Good. Now we're going to click open. And that's going to upload it to Photo Bucket. And then this step here, you don't have to name it or anything if you don't want to. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I'll just, it's already named satellite JPEG. So. And so he's going to save and continue to the album. Okay, so you can see it's on the stack of my 18 pages. It's the most recent one we've up. Well, look what's really cool. We move the cursor, the hand to the image, and what do you see below? That's really, really, really handy. HTML code. How about that? Left click on it one time, copied. It's copied. That's it. That was all there was to it. Now we go back here. So you gave himself a little space there so he wasn't bunched up against all the other stuff. Okay, that's the entire code. It starts with A and ends with a closed A, right? So if we actually, yeah, so there you go. And he hits submit code, and there it is. The one thing I find a little annoying, if you just want to do text and picture, fine. Why don't you put center code before and after that? So center. Why don't we center the picture so we don't look like goofs? Now he's going to hit submit code. Oh, it's in the center. That's so nice now. It's so visually pleasing. When you put it on the cache page, they won't look crazy. It's all about how things look, you know, when you read and what the format is. Look at how easy that was. Go back to the photo bucket again, Tim. So we can do that on any of these pictures here. Let's just, that was our CE in the spring. There's the HTML code. You left click on it, copy. Go back to photo editor. See what he's going to do? He's going to give them space to put more code in there. You don't want the space to get bunched up because you're not going to figure out what's going on. It'll all be too busy. And now he's going to submit code. It's working because it's a bigger package of data.
Now this is creating an image which is also a link instead of just an image.
Yeah, this.
Not necessarily want it to be a link.
Yeah. This is her question is, aren't you creating a link back to photo bucket with that picture? And the question is yes. You see that all the time when you click on somebody's cache page. It's linked back to photo bucket. It'll take you back to the original place it's stored, which is their photo bucket album. If you ever notice that. If you're solving a tricky puzzle, sometimes it might be helpful to click on the picture because it might take you to a secret place where there's something hiding that you need to figure out. You've seen that before, right? So, oh, this is really annoying. Look at that, how our stuff's bunched together. Ooh, I hate that. This is where we use the break code. We put space between stuff. Because stuff that's touching each other is really not very nice. We put break in there, and then we made it. Oh, sorry, I must have made that joke. But see, it's all about format and spacing here.
My point is, you could have just, instead of putting HTTP, you could have just put image source.
Oh.
And then put the HTTP code. And all that's going to do is put the image on the page, and it's not a link.
Oh, great point. That's a really technical and a great point. Her point was we don't have to do it by a link. We could do it. There's another code on Gizmo Guy's page if you want to go back there. Yeah, I understand what she's meaning. It's probably not so important for you guys, but her point was you don't have to make it a link. You can just show the picture there. I see what she's meaning. There's a code on Gizmo Guy's page that will.
Right, the one on the bottom.
Yep. See how he changed the code? He used the word. He took away the A and now he used the IMG code for image. Oh, it was already there. Oh. Yeah, can you go back to the, again? So what he did is, so he went back here, and then he used the image code. Is that what you used down at the bottom?
On this one, on the bottom one here, it's no longer a link. You can tell because I still have the arrow. This little satellite picture, whatever you want, is still a link. All I did was remove the link. We showed you the A and the HREF, remember that? I took it away. So now, now it's just a plain old picture. It has no link to it. Or, as opposed to removing the A, I could have changed where I wanted you to go if you were to click on the picture.
That's a little more advanced. I think it's not really advanced, but for you guys, just getting a picture on the page is really a plus. I know that was one of the major goals of some people who can only do text. You want to get a picture on there, which is really important for it to add some ambiance